to buy Canelo versus Golovkin at $16.95. Press box office on your Sky remote or visit BoxNation.com.
Middleweight, like Triple G, you're going to have respectable pop on your punch, but it's, you know, nothing that Triple G is not going to be able to take.
Would you have been too big for Canelo in your prime?
I think so. Yes, I definitely think so. And also, I mean, I've been something that Triple G hasn't seen. Danny Jacobs is a big kid, but you're talking about different kinds of fighters too in power. So,
who was the bigger puncher, you or Triple G?
you know what? I said there was another guy too that everybody took the credit away from. You know, they're quick to forget that in 2007, Edison Miranda was the most feared fighter in boxing. He was. Now I say that Miranda is not as technically sound, nowhere near as Triple G, but power-wise, I think Edison Miranda hit harder than Triple G. And I went in there and took his shots, backed him up, and did what I did. As a matter of fact, I stopped him in the 7th round. You know, there's a lot of guys. I think he hit harder than Triple G. Triple G ain't fought nobody like that though. He hasn't fought Miranda's. He hasn't fought Arthur Abraham. You know, people forget about that guy at middleweight who was a tank. And of course me. Jermaine Taylor was a 6'2", you know, big middleweight. These guys for Triple G, and it's not his fault, but it's been lack of in the middleweight division.
Was there any talk of you fighting Triple G at all?
No, I mean, my God, you got to remember, I've been retired 5 years now, and by that time I was already a year into the super middleweight division, and I don't even know how many fights Triple G would have had at that time.
Kelly, thinking about fighters that Golovkin hasn't faced, we were up there in New York and we seen Jamal Charlo get his knockout win, and now he's calling out, you know, Golovkin or the winner of this fight. How do you think he fares against the winner of this fight?
I haven't, you know, I can't give a fair assessment on that. I haven't seen enough of Charlo. I haven't.
Have you watched his other fights before?
Yeah, I'm talking about it, against his opposition. You know, first of all, and then jumping up to that weight class. I mean, I would say get your feet wet with a couple of fights before you jump into a Triple G at middleweight. But it's still out there. When I see him beat a marquee name and do it like really good and convincing, then I say, you know what, this kid, he's the real deal. But he just hasn't shown me yet, me personally, in my opinion, that he's there at that weight class.
I think it would be real tough for either one of them at that division, but like I said, you know, it'll be interesting to see how he does against other middleweights. But he's the #1 contender now for Golovkin's belt right now.
Exactly, so give him a fight though. You know, he's #1. Even if you got to put him in there with somebody who's going to give him the rounds, but put him in there with somebody he's going to get the win, get a feel for that, and then give him a shot at the winner of this fight. I think that he fares better against the Canelo than he does against Triple G.
Really?
Yes, because styles, first of all, and that Canelo's a smaller guy. You know, yeah.
Daniel Jacobs, would you favor him against the winner of this fight? Would you favor the winner?
Well, you know, another thing that's going against Triple G is father time. I mean, you know, everybody ages different. Not everybody's a Bernard Hopkins. You know, not everybody's a Mayweather. And I think we've seen signs. It's hard to tell with Mayweather. You know, Mayweather has over 700 days off at the age of 40, so that all played into one factor. But everybody ages different. Okay, so Triple G's what? My age, 36 maybe now? 35, 36. So in baseball, which is nowhere near as demanding on the body as boxing is, you hear them call a 34-year-old hitter, this veteran's up to bat, and you know they lose their reflexes, everything else, and that happens. So who knows with Triple G too, like how he's going to be after this. And it could work in Danny Jacobs' favor. The longer they go for the rematch, the better it is for Jacobs. But again, you never know what's going to happen on the night of the fight.
Was there one other moment in a fighter in the gym where you said, I'm not feeling like the same Kelly PAVLIK anymore?
No, not really, to be honest with you. For me, it was, you know, I upped and left my hometown. I went to California to train, and I fought some lower guys at that point. But which Top Rank did a great job on that, though, because I was breaking into a new trainer. That's what Top Rank does good. A lot of these promoters get their guys with a brand new trainer, and that first fight with that trainer, they put him into a huge bout. you got a whole new chemistry that you're trying to work on. 8 weeks is not enough time to get that broken down. So slowly break your way in. And I loved it out there with Robert Garcia. But you know, the Andre Ward fight, I was fighting guys like Scott Sigmans and Aaron Jacobs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I had the Andre Ward fight lined up, and I was really pumped about that. Obviously, I think the biggest fight of my career it would have been. And then all of a sudden he gets hurt, unfortunately, and that's when he was out for the year and a half, 2 years, shoulder. There was no meaningful fights out there either. A lot of these big-time fighters were on contract for other fights. I was looking at minimum a year until I got back in. I lost it on that, you know, not fully, but it wasn't all here. And boxing is not a sport that, you know, you can at that level go into it like that. And I didn't need the money. Don't need the belts. You know, I have them. I got the money. I've accomplished what I wanted to, and I walked off. I mean, big problem. A lot of guys stick around, and unfortunately, people remember the ending of their careers, and I don't want that.
Speaking of Andre Ward, who would you say right now that's pound for pound the best fighter in the world?
Obviously, Andre Ward, and then I have it up in the air. I think there's a lot of people that I got to fight, and a lot of big fights coming up, where you can slowly start putting in that top 5 or top 10. Andre Ward, you know, even say at when the Rigondeaux and Lomachenko fight.
My next question.
Yeah, say that fight goes off, even a winner of that. They still haven't done enough. I mean, I think we easily forget what Andre Ward has accomplished and who he has fought.
He's beat a lot of pound-for-pound fighters that was on that list.
Exactly. So I think that he has that spot locked down, and these guys better step on the gas against other opponents if they want to take that spot, or just keep fighting until Andre Ward retires. But you know, yeah. So I think everybody, after these couple big fights, this Triple G Canelo fight and everything else, you can really start. Crawford gets in there with a big guy at 47, then you could have an easier time putting these guys into place in the top 10.
My last one for you, Kelly. Is there any way, because these two guys can box when they want to, that this fight doesn't turn into kind of exchanges and war throughout that people want?
I think it's eventually going to, though. It may not. I think it is. Again, they get a little tired at the end of the fight. And when you get tired, you don't have the energy to box. You usually sit down in the pocket, start turning your hips and everything into it, and try to land what you can. Hopefully hurt somebody. I think towards the end of the fight, the latter rounds, I see that happening.
Who wins the fight? Who is your final prediction?
It's going to be a good fight. Hey, listen, I'm in the media now, and I got my own show, and I got to look good when I make these predictions, right? So you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not making a prediction. I'm going to sit back as a big boxing fan and watch this fight unfold. Again, I say I'm leaning towards Canelo, so that way if Canelo wins, I can be like, man, I told you guys, I knew. I should have went with my instinct on that. But no, I can't give you a winner.
Rigo versus Loma, who you lean towards in that one?
I go with Lomachenko. One reason, size. So I'm gonna take that back. Make it 2 reasons: size and the way he fights. Rigo, to me, they both are almost identical in the moves they make when they're boxing. Okay, how they fight. Rigo to me is more of a boxer. Like I'm talking about, he moves more on the feet, and then he hits you, but he has great power too. As for Lomachenko, actually has a lot of power, and he only does it when he wants to in fights, and you can hear it. But Lomachenko is more in your chest too, though. You know, he gets in there and he throws a lot of punches, and he tries to take you out while making good moves. I think the reason why I take Lomachenko is that with his size, and if he brings the fight to Rigondeaux like he does, or is the aggressor in that fight, I think he could squeak out a decision in that. And a very tactical fight, obviously.
So you think he'll be that active against a style like Rigo's? Because usually they kind of nullify people's punch output, those type of styles.
It's going to not look like it. He's going to try it, but I think it's going to look like it to the judges. You know what I mean? He's going to try to put the pressure on Rigo. Rigo's going to move, but Rigo's going to try and counter. Again, where it can come into a boring fight for just boxing fans who don't really know boxing, and they kind of just like to watch it for the names, it's going to be a boring fight. I think for us, it's going to be really interesting. I mean, you're going to see some shots here and there, but these guys are 2 very defensive fighters who take pride in not getting hit. And but again, what I'm saying is I think Lomachenko is going to put the pressure on more. And he's going to land some more shots. He's probably going to throw more. And at the end of the fight, it's going to look better on punch stats and everything else. Box.
To buy Canelo versus Golovkin at $16.95. Press box office on your Sky remote or visit BoxNation.com.